Hello everyone, I am TST's TheMudMan, and today I would like to show you guys an upcoming deck for the next Gods Unchained expansion. For those of you who don't know, a new set is coming out, Divine Order. It should be just around the corner, and a few of us players had the opportunity to test out the new cards in the PTR, or Public Test Realm, and this is one of the decks that I was playing. This is Aether Magic with some new and improved cards. This is a low curve, aggressive, mid-rangey deck. It has some very powerful early game plays like Assistant Alchemist alongside Pyramid Wardens or any of the other 1-drops for big tempo plays early. It's got this great new 1-mana Aether, Planetary Acolyte. It has the new Blessed keyword, which will let you delve 3 different favor-themed effects, for each blessed card you play. Some of them are very powerful, like gaining 9 favor. Sometimes they're more situational, like gaining 2 favor for each card in your hand. Sometimes you reshuffle the Sanctum. But either way, you get a lot of favor, which lets you access the Sanctum and get more resources, which is very helpful for this type of deck, since you have a lot of cheap cards that you play early and need to refill your hand with resources from the Sanctum. It's also got this card here, Safeguard Incantation. Draw a card, give each creature in your hand a ward. So this is a very low tempo card the turn you play it. However, it can give things like your Sky Reaver, or something like a Miraculous Familiar ward, which will make it so more control decks will have a really hard time getting rid of it. And these types of cards can, if they survive multiple turns, they can go absolutely wild. And that brings us to the Miraculous Familiar, another new card. It has that same Blessed keyword, so upon playing it, you'll get a fun favor effect. And after you play the first spell, each turn you add a random spell to your hand. That can be a magic spell or a spell from any other god. It's a good card because 3/3 for 3 mana is adequate stats on its own. It gets you more resources for your hand, and as we discussed, you like to play your resources quickly, so any sort of refill is very good. And the fact that you can get any spell from any domain makes every game feel fun and fresh, and there's tons of options, and lots of wacky stuff can happen. It's a very, very fun card. But let's jump into the basic strategy for the deck. It has a low curve, so in the early game, you're looking for things like Pyramid Warden and the Assistant Alchemist, as I mentioned before. These 2 cards in combination are absolutely incredible on turn 1. You can play 2 Assistant Alchemists and a Pyramid Warden on turn 1, which is a cumulative, 6, 10 in stats on turn 1. That's pretty insane. You also have Palace's Wand, which is another way that you can generate resources. You can play this as early as turn 1 as well and draw through your deck quickly, with all of your fantastic Magic domain cards like Star Shard Bolts. The Form of Power is a good way to buff up the durability of the relic. And as you transition into the mid-game, you play the aforementioned Miraculous Familiar, which is just a decent body and generates you resources. And then you have cards like Dimension Looper, which is arguably the best card in the deck. This is just a key example of an extremely high tempo card. Decent stats for 4 mana. You can deal 3 damage to your opponent's creature, so you can play a creature, destroy your opponent's creature. That's fantastic. And if you're playing against a slower deck, you can send that 3 damage directly to their face and pressure them down to 0. So this is just an extremely versatile, extremely powerful card, and it's one of the reasons why you want to play Aethers in general. And then we have the Planetary Sage, which is just another incredibly solid card. 4 mana 4/5, that's Wetlands Ogre stats, so you're not going to do better than 4 mana 4/5 generally for that stat line. And it also has the little side effect of if you're holding an Aether and this dies, you get 9 favor, which is important for your endgame cards like Pious Giant. Let's see, you have the Archvisionist, which, similar to the Miraculous Familiar, is a decent creature that generates you more resources. It really just fits the theme of the deck. It's very effective. You have pretty standard neutral creatures. Trial Spirit not only is good for making your creatures bigger and stronger, but is also an Aether, so it helps set up your Dimension Loopers and your Archvisionists and all that. You have your Sky Reaver, which is an amazing card, 5 mana 5/5 after any Aether attacks, including opponents' Aethers. You get to draw a card. That's amazing for refill in the mid to late game. And then And then we have the Pious Giant, which is an extremely huge 6-mana 9/9 with Ward, and with all of the blessed cards, as well as cards like Planetary Sage, it's really easy to get just a ton of favors, so you can take cards from the Sanctum while still maintaining that 20-point favor mark, so you can get that big Pious Giant to end the game. Let's see, what are some important notes? Aether Herald, you might think, like, hey, that's a 2-mana card, I'd like to keep that in the mulligan, but generally, Aether Herald's not a turn 1 or 2 play. 2-mana 2/2 is very low stats for its mana cost. This is the type of thing that you weave in at some point when you have 2 extra mana floating around, and while it's in your hand, just waiting to be in play, it helps you facilitate your Dimension Loopers and your Archvisionists and your Planetary Sages. So don't worry too much about keeping him in the opening hand. And a similar thing can be said about your Safeguard Incantation. If you're playing against an aggro deck, you definitely don't want to play this in the early game, but if you're playing against a Control Magic deck or a Board Wipe Death, this could be like a really key card for those matchups. Alright, and without further ado, let's jump into some gameplay footage. Alright, so let's get into some gameplay. We're going to go with the new and improved Mage Bolt God Power. And like I said before, this is a low curve, high tempo deck, so we're looking for some good cheap creatures like Pyramid Wardens and Assistant Alchemists. Star Shard Bolts are also good. Still high tempo, removing stats from his side of the board. Qualifies as power plays. There's a Pyramid Warden, that's great. Let's get rid of one of these Star Shard Bolts, and we should be good. Oh, we got the Palace's Wand. So, if that is the case, I'm actually going to pip right into the wand and start juicing up the durability as quickly as possible so I can draw through my deck and play lots of creatures and spells each turn for those max tempo plays. Alright, so now we drop the Pyramid Warden. Unfortunately, we don't have a ton of Magic Domain cards in hand, so it'll be a turn or two before Palace's Wand is active, but it should still work. Alright, great. So, let's play our creatures and go face, like every good tempo deck does. This is one of the new cards. Let me pick this thing first. This is an example of the new Blessed Mechanic. How much favor do I have? None? No one has favor. Let's just get 3 favor and shuffle the cards. Right, so this is one of the new cards. Planetary Acolyte. He's a really great 1-drop. Normal stats for a 1-mana creature, but he's got the new blessed keyword. And all the blessed effects, I'd say, are worth at least 1 mana. Some, like, we didn't get a super high roll one that game, or that round, but we could have gotten, like, 9 favor, could have gotten, like, favor for 2 for each card on his side of the board. There's lots of variety with him. We get to access the Sanctum first most of the time, so he is just very worth it. And we can set up a Palace's Wand draw this turn as well. That's nice. So let's trade here. Play the Assistant Alchemist on the Dimension Looper. Kill off his Pyramid Warden and get back my fancy new Planetary Acolyte. Let's draw a card. This guy is sort of scaring me. Might think about killing him off. Oh, another Pyramid Warden. Nice. I could use some Aethers for the Looper. But what are you going to do? This trade feels yucky. Let's just go all face. And let's grab this Relic Removal, because he has a very scary relic. And that's just one of the benefits of these Blessed cards. See, that my curve is very low, so I played a bunch of cards already, but I got favor so quickly I can generate more resources from there. And sometimes the Blessed mechanic is absolutely nutty. Like when you get that new guild legendary creature that deals 5 damage to one of the player's gods directly. Those only cost 10 favor. It's very easy to get 20 or 30 favor and take all 3 of them. Oh, huge damage. That's bad. He's not helping. Pop the relic. Play the Pyramid Warden. And hopefully pick up some good Aethers. Any Aether will do, so I can play the Looper, kill one of his things, and play a big creature. Wow, he has so much spell boost right now. 5 spell boost? That's crazy. I got an Aether. We got that going for us. So I can get rid of you. I can't get rid of the super huge threat creature, unfortunately. Let's see. Shield Bearer is better than Mage Bolt, right? It's also a 1/1. Let's go like this. Let's go like this. Nice. Another Shield Bearer. Perfect. And maybe at some point we'll be able to get rid of this Shadow Scryer with spell boost +4. That thing is very threatening. Another Worm Breath right to my face. Okay. Alright, good. Looks like we can finally kill that Shadow Scryer. This is very not helpful. Let's go like this. Let's trade here and here. How can I get up to this? Sure can. Oh, I already attacked it. I can do it. Phew. Thinking about just getting rid of my palaces, wanted to draw a card. I want a bigger board. Let's do it. Live dangerously. All about the high tempo plays, right? There we go. That's a card. Well, these are awful. Just make him a little favor engine. Alright, so he's 2 Worm Breaths down. We have the board. Similar hand size, but I have a legendary card, so it's looking decent. Oh, the race is on. Nice. Alright, make or break time. Did we have enough big tempo plays to steal the victory? Or does our opponent have another epiphany? That's not an epiphany. And the Aethers make it over the hump. Hey, you! Did you know that subscribing to the TST YouTube channel will increase your win rate by 6.9%? So what are you waiting for? Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell for notifications. And while you're at it, equip Siphon the Harvest and attack the like button directly in the face. Bye-bye!